Michael Wilkes. Sam Lacavera. And Gary Thayer. Enjoy the show.
Oh, obviously, that's the wrong intro. Sam was like, wait a second.
Man,
it
looks pretty
Saturday?
dark. It looks pretty dark for a Saturday morning out there right now.
Yes, wait a second. I should have checked that. Mike said he had everything sub. I should have checked that. That's my fault as the producer / person that should be looking at that stuff. My bad, dude. Happy victory. I got the victory chain on, dog. Victory chain. Dogs got to eat.
Dogs got to eat.
Browns victory. We beat the Pittsburgh Steelers, man. 13-6 down at Huntington Bank Field. We didn't think it was going to happen, Sam. We said, hey, they're going to lose this one and beat Cincinnati. And guess what? We're right off in the sunset. But guess what? They had a surprise for us. They said, nope, not today. The defense came to play, and the offense did just enough for a victory. And the defense held toward the end there. Not held, depending on who you ask. If you're a Pittsburgh fan, you're saying he did hold. It was a PI. But Browns fans say, stop your whining. We're going to claim the victory either way.
Yeah, I mean, and I was, I might be one of the odd men out. I don't want to say I didn't want them to win, okay? But I didn't want them to win. So I was more of the trying to get that, looking at picks, looking at future stuff, But, at the end of the day, it is Pittsburgh. And I had a smile on my face. I'm not going to sit here and lie, but I really want, I want the best we can get for next year to help this team out. And some of that, as you all know, comes in this draft. As you can see with the young draft that we have this year, how well these draft guys are doing. So I want the cream of the crop, man. I want another good high pick draft, man. But
and you're at 6 now. You went from 2 to 6, so you get a victory, but you drop 4 spots in the draft. And a lot of people are like, well, that kind of takes you out of the quarterback thing, which I'm okay with, because I would have came on and said, I think they would have dropped down to 6 anyways. Because if hypothetically we had Cincinnati as an easy win, technically, even though they're 7-point favorites at home, you still would have dropped in the draft anyways.
Right. And the thing too is, Angel, with the way the draft projection right now is, some of these teams are only 3-win teams. Some of these teams are tied being only 4 wins. So some of the folks out there, if you don't know how that works, so say you got 2 teams that only got 3 wins. Well, what deciphers who goes ahead of that team? And it usually comes down to strength of schedule. And it comes down to time of possession on offense and stuff throughout the year, throughout the season.
Yeah.
So
head-to-head matchup, strength of schedule.
Yeah. So there's other variables involved in that. I would have liked to be up in the 2 or 3. Who wouldn't want to be? But it's how it is. But yay for the win, man. Definitely. Always, especially when you can beat your rival. I hear a lot of talk that there ain't rivals. I think after that game, if you didn't think it was a rivalry, there's a rivalry.
Yeah, they still do.
They still do too.
Does. Yeah, it's
absolutely.
a division game. If anything, it's a division game. If not a rival as it used to be, but a division game to where it's as important as playing San Francisco on a Sunday morning. And I'm glad they were able to come in and play. And nonetheless, I'm sorry, I was rude. My bad. How was your Christmas?
It was pretty good. It was laid back. I had I thought, I talked about it on Saturday too. I had a procedure done on my hand.
Yes.
So this week, just me and the wife stayed home. We're doing all of our family get-togethers. It's going to be this weekend coming up. So, but it was just a nice little laid back, me and her, open our gifts up, laid back, football, watch football. We both get into football. I'm hats off to her too. She's a fantasy. She played with, we both played together last year. And this year she did her whole own fantasy thing and she came in third, so that's pretty impressive for her first time running her own fantasy league. So hats off to Jen out there doing her thing. So.
You looking for a GM job? I'm
Yeah,
hearing that
yeah.
the Browns might be
Yeah,
interested
right.
in someone like her who knows how to draft players, and not only that, but win too.
Hey, Amanda, we see you out there. What's happening, Amanda?
What's up, Amanda Wilkes? Tell your hubby. Listen, Mike's on the show. Sorry, at times I often forget. I get so show oriented, I forget the surroundings around me. Mike's not here. And I'm pretty sad about that because I felt like we're going to go into our third year as a podcast. And I was hoping he's here, but Mike got caught up at work. But here's the deal. Sam came on and said, hey, I had something popped up in my Facebook memories today. Tell us what it is. What popped up
Yeah.
in your memories?
Yeah, last year to this day, the Facebook memory came up, and it was a prior show that I did with Angel and Mike. The topic of discussion was which coaches are going to get fired, which was crazy. I was like, wow, man, kind of like I meant to send it to you.
Groundhog Day.
Yeah, I meant to send it to you, and I will send it to you. And it came up on my feed, and we were talking about we don't think that Kevin's going to be let go or Barry this year. We all agreed on that. And then we talked about the usual suspects of last year who needed to go. And Ken Dorsey's name got brought up.
Yep.
So he had to go. We all knew he had to go. The old line coach, he had to go. He was gone. And we were already talking about Bubba Ventrone then. Like this special teams, man, we got to do something here. This guy got to go too. So, but it was cool. I rewatched some of that, man. It was a cool little thing. And I'll send it to you, man. Definitely.
James Frank in the comments on YouTube said, talking about the same thing a year later. Indeed, we are. And we're going to hit that topic here in a minute. But I want to say congratulations, because if you've seen that on your feed, that means you've been on the show for a year.
Yes.
Congratulations.
It's been a little over a year, man. I think I did. Actually, you guys asked me to come on the one time. I think it was around October, around there. Because I remember I didn't have a nice beard growing how I got now. So I went to the Halloween store, and I remember it was around Halloween time. Yeah. And I put on that fake beard when I came on. I
remember that. That's crazy.
So.
Yeah,
seems longer to go, but it's so there's a lot
year as a podcaster for the team that you love to hate.
Yeah, right. Hey, make it hard.
We're going into this third full year. Like we did a soft launch, but this is the third full year as a full podcast. And we have grown to where we add not just you, but Gary Lee and Logan on the Saturday show. So there's 4 of you guys on there at 10 a.m. every Saturday, the Browns Morning Brew. And then you have us here on Tuesday. So we won an award last year, the Cleveland's Best Sports Podcast from Cleveland Scene Magazine. So, I mean, we are doing great things here, and we're just growing, man, just growing. So I'm tired of boring with you guys with down memory lane. I just wanted to congratulate Sam for being here for a year. It's been a blessing to have you, man. I tell you, it's been great. I was talking to Mike a couple of weeks ago. I said, hey, I really think putting Sam on the Saturday show has stretched him to become even better than what he was on this show, because I think we were stifling your talent because we talk a lot on this show. I was Sam needs to go on the show where you can talk.
Yeah, we all gel well together, I believe. It is fun for me on Saturday. Even to be here now, so it's always been a pleasure. I've always, thank you, both you guys, for even considering having me on. I did a few shows in the beginning, and you're like, hey, I like that guy. Let's have him come back, which was really cool. So, and here we are.
That's how it normally works. And we get you on the show once, and then we keep you.
Right. So it's been pretty good. I like the addition of Gary here. We got Logan Bruce, who's out there with his music right now. He's lighting it up on 92.3 The Fan. They brought him up on there. ESPN. You go, boy. He's all right, man. We brought him on. We brought him on a show, and he's part of the Saturday morning. So yeah, man, it's all looking good, man. I was telling a friend, as hard as it is to root for this team, because we always want the best for them, and we gotta live through these struggles, man. Right? I said, imagine trying to talk positive about them twice a week. I said, it's tough, man. It's tough, but we always find a glimmer. We always find our glimmer, man, because it is our Browns. So
Browns. So let's get into it. Speaking of coaches and cycles of who's going to go, who's going to stay. Big reports are being dropped as we speak right now. First one this morning, Tony Grossi was on 850 ESPN Cleveland, and he said something that caught my interest, and I want to get Sam's input about it. It's here. He said a lot of things at the beginning, but what I want to focus on is this. He says that both realize, meaning Jimmy and Kevin, that Stefanski has taken the team as far as it will go in 6 years. Under his direction, that Stefanski is confident his coaching career may, in fact, be brighter outside an organization. And here's the kicker: that meddles too much on the coaching side of things in the interest of that C word, collaboration.
Right.
That, my friend, is what I've been talking about for weeks about replacing Kevin, and everybody's throwing out these coaches. And I said, it's the idea of John Gruden. I don't think John Gruden. I don't want John Gruden here, but the thought of John Gruden here wouldn't work because of the C word, collaboration. So when we think of who is going to replace Kevin, we got to think of a coach that's going to work well with others, that doesn't want power, that doesn't want authority, and that's not a man that's going to be able to speak up for himself, because Kevin for 6 years has did whatever the organization has said to do. And because of that, he's getting 99.9% of the blame for the team's struggles. And I disagree with that slightly. It shouldn't be all on him. It should be on other people, but that's for a different show. Unless Sam wants to bring it up, because I know he loves Kevin. What is your take on that?
My take, well, let me tell you, man, I'm going to keep it real. I got to keep it 100. You know, that's who I am. I am not a Tony Grossi fan. I take anything he says with a grain of salt. Put that back up real quick, Angel, so I can dissect this little comment here. All right. It starts out with, I've had the feeling for a couple of weeks. So we all have feelings. We all think things, you know what I mean? So this is what he thinks. Like, we all think. We all have different opinions, you know. The one thing that I can and will agree with what's going on here, because we have all talked about it. We all think that this is something that we think is the meddling. Okay. We've always thought that, you know, Jimmy's in there sometimes saying, yeah, this is the guy we got to get. This is who it's going to be. This is who you get to deal with. This is who I want. It's my money. But honestly, though, we don't know. Like he's saying, I've had this feeling, or I have a feeling that we should be like 6 Super Bowls in already, but we ain't doing that. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't want to go deep into Grossi, man. I'm going to go a little there with him. I think the dude, I can't even look up to the guy for whatever he is saying, because he seems like he's the guy that just wants to get, if there's not a story there as a journalist, he's going to try to push it out there. And it comes at the cost of some people sometimes. Yeah. I mean, he doesn't have a really good track record. He had problems at the Plain Dealer. I'm going to leave it at that. He had problems on ESPN. I'm going to leave it at that, you know. And you see him pick on Shedeur Sanders early in the season. He had a few problems with Baker Mayfield, too. He's just that guy that goes in there and tries to rile these guys up because, you know, his career ain't all that. So the only thing I'll take out of that Tony Grossi is the meddling part, because we've all talked about that. We all have feelings. I have a feeling that, you know, that does happen behind closed doors, but, you know, to be on a fly on the wall, you know.
James said, Angel, that's a dope hat. I got the same one. I got this for Christmas from my mother-in-law. She said, hey, and that Browns helmet back there, right here, I got for my daughter for Christmas. And then another Browns hat for my daughter. But yeah, this is one of my favorite. I saw this hat and I sent it to her. She told me send stuff for Christmas, and I'm glad this hat is dope. It feels comfortable too. I knew you were going to say this about Tony Grossi. And as a matter of fact, the comment's saying the same thing that you say about Tony Grossi. I don't believe Tony Grossi. If Tony Grossi says it, I don't believe it. But this comes on the heel of Joanna Anderson saying the Browns have met with former GMs Chris Gearer and Tom Telesco to gather perspectives, explore, talk about senior leadership. These meetings are standard during the NFL coaching/GM carousel season. The coaching and GM carousel season. So that's a breadcrumb. And then what dropped today by Jeremy Flowers is this.
I just don't. I'd be surprised. But there are some 50-50s out there. Cleveland, Las Vegas, those are two places I see as like, they've done their preliminary research for a potential move. Doesn't mean they're locked into doing it or that they've decided yet, but those are certainly on my radar. That would make 4. And then you bounce around. You have a lot.
Where there's smoke, there's fire. That's my saying. I've always said on the show, when there's smoke, once that's okay. Twice it's weird. But 3 people, 3 different sources are saying there's a chance that Kevin is gone. Now, I think why Jeremy Flowers is saying that there's a chance is because of what you said, my brother, the meddling. It's going to be hard to find a coach that is going to deal with an organization that wants a collaborative effort. And it's around the league. They notice this has been going on for years. If you come to Cleveland, you got to play nice with whoever's in the front office. You're not going to have the authority to do whatever you want as head coach. And I already seen people said, hey, I want Brian Flores. Do you think Brian Flores, who is going to be a top candidate, is going to come here with the number 6 pick and then forcing Shador on him, not forcing in a bad way? I'm not saying forcing in a bad way, because he may want somebody different, is what I'm saying. And then you're going to say, run with this team and this limited offense in which Andrew Berry may be in charge of, who is drafted poorly outside of this year. How easy? I mean, you're limited at who you get as head coach is what I'm saying. You're not going to get Brian Flores. You're not going to get Kubiak, who's another hot hire. You're going to get a guy like Mike McCarthy, who did it at Dallas, who did whatever he was told. He wins, just doesn't win playoff games.
Basically. Well, that's a guy I like, man. He's been on my radar. You know that too. So there are some guys out there. I just, as a fan, just from coming from a fan, man, I just can't take more losing seasons with the coach of Kevin. I just can't do it no more. I feel like he's had options to help get this team further. And it's just not happened in the last 2 seasons. I mean, and then people are like, oh man, we won this Pittsburgh game, man. It's probably saves Kevin's job. How the hell does that save Kevin's job, bro? It ain't saving Kevin's job. Kevin ain't saving Kevin's job.
I thought it was going to save Kevin's job, but it seems to me the writing's already there. I don't think it's going to save Kevin's job, because I don't think Kevin wants to be here.
I was just going to bring that up because we had talked about that too. I mean, yeah, you're absolutely right. Everybody might say, oh yeah, he's out of there. Haslam has seen enough. Maybe Kevin's just done. I mean, we don't know. Like, we always speculate different things, but you got to have both sides of the fence there to look at. And you're absolutely right. Maybe Kevin's like, you know what? I can't do another year of this.
Okay. Can I bring something up real quick? I'm going to bring this comment up. James says, and this is the comment that bothers me the most, Sam. This triggers me. Trigger is a word amongst the new millennial G's or whatever younger generation is. I'm triggered. I'm quicker to cut Barry slack because I think his drafts give me more than one outside of this year, Sam.
This has been, I said it.
You said, if you have to think about it, then there's no answer.
This has been his best draft.
Draft has been hurt because of Watson's debacle. So how is that on Kevin? I think he brought Watson's name up and Jimmy said, do whatever you need to do to get him. Let's go, Kev. You're going to cut Andrew Berry. This is, I had a talk with a salesman at my job about this. You're going to give Andrew Berry some slack because he had one good year in drafting, which is a good year. I'm not short-sighting him at all. But we're going to totally ignore the other 5 drafts that brought in maybe 1 to 2 people that are still on this team. But we're not going to give Kevin a pass, who has won 3 seasons, 2 seasons, 2 playoff appearance in which he won with the drafts Barry gave him, the limited talent on offense, the decision to get Watson. That it also falls on Kevin, but yet we're going to give Barry a pass because of 1 year of great drafting, but we're going to ignore the 2 years Kevin gave us with the limited amount of talent at quarterback. That is my argument when it comes to Kevin. You can't forgive one and then punish the other. Does that make sense?
No, it makes sense, man, because, you figure them guys, when you look as, a coach and a general manager, they're like a tandem group. That's your tag team. That's your tag team title champions.
Yeah.
So it is hard for me to say, all right, so if we get rid of Kevin, they're definitely not going to get rid of Barry. We don't know that, but it would seem that if you're going to start that fresh over, you get rid of everything that was involved within that last 6 years, 6 seasons.
Exactly.
So, yeah. So I get where you're coming from too, man. And because that was me too. I'm like, you guys can get rid of anybody you want, but leave Schwartz alone.
You got to keep Schwartz. Okay.
Alone.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
saying?
saying?
I could see Schwartz coming as a head coach. My argument is, I think the defense at times has weaknesses offenses exploit when the offensive coordinator is like a Ben Johnson, who's very smart, very innovative. He has a hard time adjusting to that innovation. That would be my combat with Schwartz, but maybe with him being a head coach, he maybe have someone else on defense that's younger that can be as innovative and help him out there with that defense.
Well, I'm not saying make Schwartz the head coach. I'm just saying keep Schwartz as the defensive coordinator.
Now you're going to add another layer of limitation. So you're going to bring in a coach saying Shador's your quarterback. Yep. You're not bringing your own guy on defense.
Yep. Barry,
and by the way, you're not making any decisions. It's collaborative.
Right.
Who wants this job?
Yeah, and you know what? It's funny because we actually said those exact words on that reel from last year. We said, "Who here? Nobody wants to come to this mess." You know what I actually said? You know what I actually said in that? I said, "Who wants to come running into a burning building naked?" That's how I said it.
And it's actually still burning. It's still burning a year later.
It's still burning, man. Right? It's still burning. So funny. Who wants to run into a building burning naked and take?
Yeah, so that's just my take. I think I know people hate Tony Grossi. I find him entertaining, and I like him for that aspect of. I do think he says some things that are some truth. Is he dramatic? Is he condescending? Sure. But I think when he said that, and then you add these two pieces together, you can see validity in what he's saying from the perspective of, hey, don't think Kevin's going to get fired because he's a bad coach. But also you have to think about the other side. Kevin might not want to be here because he's getting blamed because he's a bad coach. He's getting blamed that he's a bad coach because of stuff that he's not in control of.
Right.
And I know you guys on Saturday show brought up the quarterback situation. He's had a list of 13 quarterbacks and maybe 2, and I would give you maybe 4 because Jacoby's still playing in the league that are starter material. The rest are just bums and backups. PJ Walker, is he in the league? DTR, is he in the league?
No.
We expect Kevin to win with people that are no longer in the league. And he had to work with 2 rookies this year. And Joe Flacco, who's 49,000 years old.
Well, that goes to your point.
I think
maybe
when you bring in limitations,
like, hey man, I'm done. I just can't.
That's what I'm saying. Like you want me to coach this team, and you give me these quarterbacks outside of. He had a good year with Baker, even though him and Baker might not have gotten along. And whose fault is it when it comes to the Watson thing? We'll probably never know. But Baker got his feelings hurt about it.
But with this too, Angel, though, I mean, we were told, as far as I know, Dylan Gabriel was Kevin's guy.
Okay, yes. I'm glad you brought this up. See, me and you work well together. We got to do a separate show. Listen,
so, yeah, go ahead.
I think the reason why it's Kevin's guy is because Barry sets up the draft order. He says in the 3rd round, you get your quarterback. Whoever's there is who you get. He was left with whoever was there. And he thought, now, granted, Dylan Gabriel was probably the worst choice Kevin probably should have picked. But then again, if you look at the stats, did he really pick the wrong quarterback right now? Because if you look at the stats, by the way, let's look at the stats. They're pretty much even. outside of
Kevin,
Shador throwing more touchdowns.
Kevin, okay, so you're saying Barry said, okay, man, this is going to be the draft order. When it hits, you got to hit, and this is your guy. But I remember hearing like they were really digging on this dude before the draft. They're out with lunches.
Think that,
they're hanging out with his mom. Bro, they're hanging out with his mom. They're out there doing lunches. Kevin wanted that dude.
They scouted him.
Kevin
and also, too,
Barry
wanted him.
Bro.
Barry wanted him, too.
Yeah, I think
it's
that
not
was
just
more
Kevin, it's Barry.
And the thing is, too,
I would agree. I think it was more Kevin than Barry. Yeah.
And here's the thing, though, too, man. I don't want to take nothing away from Dylan Gabriel, okay? Because college, if you look at college, look great, okay? But we never know what's going to happen and these are your rookies, okay? I'm not forgetting that. They're getting thrown right into the fire, okay? But some guys look great in college, and then they don't look good in the NFL. It just happens that way. So you don't know until you get what you get, and you get what you got, and how you work with them. So, Kevin wanted Dylan, man, and I didn't see, no great production out of that.
I think we didn't see enough out of Dylan. 100% sure. I agree with that. It seemed for me the high upside for Shador is a lot more appealing than what we saw that might have been the high upside for Dylan. But I've come to the conclusion that I think both of these guys have huge limitations that we might be overlooking, and that includes Shador. We'll get deeper in the offseason as far as analytics and all the other crap I want to show you guys. But either way, yes, Kevin picked Dylan. He had one. If that was his pick, he had one pick that was horrible. I'll put that on Kevin. But you have to also understand, this is his choice. He was either Dylan or Shador, and he should have picked Shador. And that probably would have worked out better for him. But either way, Kevin might not be here anyways. That top story is brought to you by Cleveland Ketchup. Go to clevelandketchup.com. Use the code BEARDED to get 10% off your order. They got ketchup. They got chips. They got a lot of good
mayo.
food there.
They got all kinds of stuff, man.
They got, man, goodness. They got tons. I had the ghost pepper chips. They're a little hot. If you like hot stuff, it's really good.
They clear your sinuses out. That's when you got a good chip, man. When you got to have a tissue box next to you because your nose is dripping while you're eating the chips. That's a good hot chip.
Yeah. So go there, use the code BEARDED, and then get 10% off. We're about to go into our next segment here called The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. It's brought to you by the Bearded Bastards barbecue sauce. Not only do we have a ketchup sponsor, but we also have a barbecue sauce sponsor that sells coffee. They're flirting with selling coffee. So go to their website, beardedbastards.com, and use the code BEARDED15, and you get 15% off. But here it is, the good. Again, good, bad, and ugly. Brought to you by Bearded Bastards barbecue sauce. Go there, use the code Bearded15 for 15% off. Sam, do you want to go first since you're the guest with the good?
Yeah, the good. I mean, coming out with the victory, obviously that's the good. Like I said, I'm a numbers guy when it comes to the draft pick. I wanted a higher draft pick. This win cost us some picks in that, but to come out with a win against the Steelers, yes, that's your rival. You don't like them, at all costs. You always want to, if you only win 2 games a year and it's the Steelers, you're all right. You know what I'm saying? So, we'll go. I always, I keep saying it. My 2 favorite teams are Cleveland Browns and whoever's playing the Steelers. So the good there, to come out with the victory. Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree. The victory against Pittsburgh to me means more than getting a top pick in which you may not. I was under the impression anyways that this is how much I believe in Shador, that you trade down, get your receiver, and get talent around him, because I think he can improve if you get talent around him. I would like to see him one more year with talent around him and see where he goes from there. So I kind of agree with you. Good win. The bad, Harrow fanning out after his touchdown catch, and because of a pulled groin. And you could tell as soon as he came up with the ball, he was just hobbling along. And I'm like, not good, bro. That's not good. And we'll talk about it a little later. That not only impacted him, but it impacted the next guy. You want to get the ugly?
Yeah, we're gonna go Shador here with the 2 picks, man. I mean, that was tough, man. I mean, he was looking good. Like, we'll get to it too. He was looking really good in the beginning, and a lot was looking good for the Browns. I think that puts him at, like, don't quote me, people out there, give me a little slack. I think that's like 10 picks for him so far for Shador. And that's a high level. That's a high rate. What is it, 6 games? You're almost averaging two a game. It's pretty crazy. So, that was the ugly. He was looking really good. Things were looking really good for them as an offensive unit. And then these picks come up again. But he's a rookie, man, and you're going to make some rookie errors. Some of those have been tipped at the prior interceptions or tipped stuff that was tipped and caught, but it's an interception. At the end of the day, on paper, it's still an interception.
Yeah. And that bad one that he threw across his body, even his dad knew it was a bad throw because they showed him and he put his cowboy hat down and
over his face. Yeah,
yeah,
he had it over his face.
Do that. And those are the things that you look at him, it's like, what are you thinking? And people are mad at Judy. Like, what is Judy? His momentum was bringing him backwards and he's trying to adjust on soggy, wet field. Like, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't put your receiver in a position to even look stupid from trying to get that ball. But those are the things that I need him to learn from. Like, I need him, and it's weird because he'll come back against Cincinnati and then he'll play it safe.
I'll tell you right now, Angel. I'll tell you right now that if you go back and watch that Pittsburgh game, there were some passes that were absolutely incredible that he made. Okay, he's layering defenses. Okay, it was the pass to Judy. I think Judy was at the slot, side left. Judy went up, came across the field, but our running back went into motion, and then once he seen that the man went over, he knew it was man. The guy goes over. It gives Judy a little bit of real estate in that one pocket of the field. Okay, but when Shador threw that pass to Judy and it was on his back shoulder, and Judy had to adjust to catch it, that's where he needed to throw the ball because he had to get it over the linebacker and in front of the safety. I mean, so he's layering defenses. He's dropping them. And I'm liking what I'm seeing, and I like to spin on the ball. So he's improving. What happens if we can always say what ifs. That doesn't get us wins, but it's like, what if he did get the more snaps in practice? What if we didn't wait as long to pull the trigger on him because Dylan was struggling? I just think that I think the team actually gave a fair handshake to Dylan Gabriel. And I think they're giving a fair handshake to Shador Sanders, no matter what these outside entities are saying, like, oh, they're holding them back, they're doing this. They just want to make sure a guy's ready, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And he's starting to prove, he's showing me every week that he's making adjustments. Okay, he's still getting interceptions. Okay, go look at Tom Brady for his first year. He wasn't doing that great either. He threw some everybody's going to throw interceptions. It's how you deal with it and how you correct your errors. So it's hard to adjust for me to say, oh, yeah, we can't build with this kid just based on 6 games. It's just crazy. I think there's some room there for him to grow.
Yeah. I forgot to show this. I want to bring this up with you real quick. I forgot to bring this up after the good win versus Pittsburgh. Do you know how much it adjusted the view of Kevin? We put a poll on X if Kevin should be safe after the Pittsburgh win, and this is the vote.
It doesn't surprise me, not one.
Oh, no. Will Kevin be fired yesterday after yesterday's Browns win over the Pittsburgh Steelers? 69% of people there said no. Nope. He would not be fired because we now want him to stay. And I think a lot of that is probably because they think, well, now that we don't have a quarterback, Shador is the guy, so we need him to stay. I think they use logic on that. We're about to get back into a game recap brought to you by Lego Heads Barber Saloon. Lego Heads Barber Saloon. Go to Berea in Berea, Ohio. Talk to Marlon. Get a beard cut, beard trim. Get some oils. Get some stuff for your beard to make it look nice and beautiful. But we're going to start with a recap on our defense, and we're going to talk about the man that has been impressing us since preseason, literally preseason. The guy that when he was drafted, people said, wait, second, who? Carson.
Yeah, right. I did.
Who's
I
this?
did.
Huh? Why? We need a receiver. Why are we getting this Carson Schwarzenegger? What's his last name? How do you say his last name? God, right? But
Yep.
we've learned that Carson Schwarzenegger is the man. And he played on one leg.
Yeah.
He played on one leg for majority of the game, and he still played on better on one leg than most people play on two legs.
That shows his grit. Like James said in the comment, I'm sure you saw it too, Angel, when he was given that game ball. James hit on it down there in the comments. He says, "You're gonna thanks guys for this ball. They're gonna have to drag me out of here because I'm not coming off the field. You know, he's not coming off until he's carted out of there. You know, he's a really tough kid. He's been playing hurt, and he's still getting these tackles, and he is something to watch, man. Like on the offensive side, I've been having my my radar's been on Harold Fannin, and on the defensive side, it's been Schlesinger. I mean, I said right in the beginning, I was calling the Schwestinator, you know, and he's out there T2ing, man. He's out there just making all these tackles. He actually that game playing hurt, he had 3 solo tackles, six assisted tackles for a combined 9 tackles. And he also had 1 for a loss, and he also had a hit on the quarterback. Okay. And the kid's out there hurt. And the kid's out there, you know what else he's trying to do? Yeah. Insane. And you know what else he's trying to do right now? He's trying to break a record too. It seems like a crazy season for all these rookies out here trying to break some records. He's looking for that. He's trying to get to that tackle record. I think it's 158 right now. It's held by DeQuell Jackson. Yes. And I believe Schlesinger is at 156. So I mean,
we might see 2 records broke.
You might see, yes, on defense, you might see 2 records broke. I mean, and my hat's off to that kid. Like you said, playing hurt the way he is and still going out there, you know, that goes to show you, you know, losing season or not, some of these guys, I would say most of the team anyway, they don't want to be out there losing, and they're going to give it their all. And that's what they're doing, man. So hats off to Carson, man.
I do have a bone to pick with you, though. You're on the Saturday show, and you really went in on Cam Robinson, and I disagree. You said something. You said that he's not even trying. I disagree with that because he is trying, and he looks horrible trying. Okay, so understand this. That is who Cam Robinson is. He's just horrible. So he's trying. Yeah. He's trying his best. He's just getting beat.
It's just my guy looks like a barn door that's just swinging. That's just swings open in a windstorm because it's not batting down. Man, you know, it's just like. And that one picture, it was on the internet. Like, I'm sure it's not what he was doing, but it was funny because the way his arm was looking, he was pointing like he got beat, and he's like, "There's the quarterback right there, get him." You know what I'm saying? It's go get him right there, right there he is.
Yeah, that is hilarious. Speaking of getting beat and pointing out the quarterback, Miles did not get to the quarterback, but Miles's impact was felt to the point where the defense or the offense really did some questionable things. Matter of fact, Miles had a comment about it. Listen up.
They were more worried about keeping me away from Aaron than getting the win, and I think that's what came back to bite them. So they'll have to fight it out with Baltimore next week. But I'm just proud of the guys for fighting and getting this win. That's the main thing, and I'm always going to keep it that.
That's the main thing. And listen, I remember all summer long, we were like, trade Miles. He's a traitor. We hate this guy. He's a bum. People were screaming, throwing stones at the guy saying, you want to get out of here? You demand a trade. But this guy is nothing but he was on the cuffs of breaking a record. Instead of focusing on that, he's been saying that all week, by the way, saying, if I get the record and we lose, it means nothing. I want to go and I want to win a game. That's been Miles. that is the 100% the reason why Miles wanted to get traded, because he doesn't see a way of winning. He just doesn't want stats. He wants to be known as the greatest, and sometimes being known as the greatest on the bad team doesn't give you the greatest title. They just say, yeah, he was greatest on the Cleveland Browns, so what? But his impact was huge
Yes, it
to the
was.
point where they did some questionable things. Aaron Rodgers was getting the ball out in 2.2 seconds, throwing the ball with guys not even close to the ball. And it was funny. You watch the game?
Yes, I
See
did.
how-
Absolutely.
See how mad Aaron Rodgers was getting at his receivers because they weren't getting in position in 2 seconds. That's insane.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, and Tomlin said, we didn't do nothing different than we would ever do for Miles.
Right.
Okay. But okay, I can find that some truth in that you do double and triple coverage or triple team him. I mean, that happens almost every team we play. You see that happen to Miles game after game, and he still comes up with sacks. But my thing was, as I'm watching the game, I'm like, yeah, they're not going to that side of the field. They're not trying to run over there. They're not trying to pass over there. And they were just completely, I watched Andrew Siciliano, and he was interviewing Alex Wright. And they asked Alex, he's like, hey, did you feel like they were changing the whole game plan because of Miles out there? What do you think? He goes, I'll tell you this. He goes, at first, no, not at all. Miles always gets double team, triple team. This is Alex Wright. He goes, and as the game went on, I'm like, yeah, there's something going on, man, because this is a little abnormal. He even said it.
Yeah.
He's the guy in the field with them cats. He had a really good game too. Hats off to Mr. Wright. I thought, so definitely there was a lot of that going on. I did see where Miles almost got Aaron, and even the announcer said, I think it's Tony Romo goes, he's probably going to smile at him when he gets up. And there goes, when he gets back, and Aaron Rodgers looked over, gave Miles a smile, like, didn't get me, yeah, you didn't get me. I'm not, but you got to think back to the Bears game, Caleb Williams, after the game, them two went up to each other, and Caleb Williams, they gave each other a hug. He's like,
he's saying he was great.
He goes, man, I couldn't let you get me. I didn't want to be the guy, I didn't want to be the guy. So that's playing on. And I said, since I seen Caleb Williams say that, I said, all these quarterbacks that we got to play
they
next
don't be the guy.
they
don't want to be the guy.
They don't want a record broken on them like that. So
yeah, I knew that Aaron Rodgers' sack was going to be hard. He gets the ball out quick. He gets the ball out quick, and not on purpose at times. He's just quick. And now I agree. I think they planned it. They said, you got to get the ball no less than 2 seconds because Miles is averaging 1.9 coming off the line. You got to get out in 2 or he's going to be in your face. Matter of fact, that play, we're going to bring it up, but that Denzel Ward getting tossed at 3 times, he didn't even go Miles' way. And there was a running back wide open that could potentially scored on that play. But he was not even looking in that direction. He went straight snap, 1, 2, throw. Ball game. So that's how Aaron Rodgers was impacted by him. Aaron Rodgers, 21 to 39, 160 yards, 68 yards, sacked twice, 54 completion percentage, 30 for 5, 3 for 15 on third down, 0 for 3 on fourth down. They had 131 total rushing yards, which is concerning coming up against Cincy because they can run the ball too. That's 5.5 yards per carry. This is the 7th time in 256 starts that Rodgers didn't reach the end zone when he started the game. Shout out to that defense. 291 total yards. That's the 2nd lowest this season for the Pittsburgh Steelers. All because of Mighty Miles. Yeah,
and I'm missing Malik Collins, man. I'm missing him. I'm missing him. Our defensive line's missing him because these run ratios, yard percentages have went up on us since he's been out of there, and that's a fact. Like you go back to San Francisco, where he went down. The last running back that we actually held at bay was McCaffrey, and ever since that's been out, man, we always say it can't be just one guy. Well, I don't know because
I do think he helps.
Since that,
not only that, he was getting pass rush. He was a top defensive tackle number 6 in sacks, quarterback sacks.
Yeah,
his impact was huge. Yeah,
it was very huge, man. So I'm just hoping wishing him well, and hopefully he has a good return. So missing
So
him.
Denzel Ward had a comment about Aaron Rodgers testing him 3 times in a row. This is what he had to say.
I'm always just prepared and ready for moments like that. But yeah, I just try to make it hard on teams every time they decide to look at the scouting report and see who they're going to attack and make it hard on them when they come my way. And like I said, I don't know whose bright idea it was to try me for the game for 3 plays in a row, but we was able to come through and get the win.
When I saw that, I had to rewind it from the first time he went there because I said, was that Ward lined up in that area 3 straight times and he went on Ward 3 straight plays in a row? I couldn't believe it. Now, Ward is having a down year. I'm not saying Ward, I mean, he's Pro Bowl, obviously, but compared to the other years, his numbers are down as far as corner percentage, but he locked him down.
Yeah, you know what's crazy to me, man, Angel, is when they went they went at him the first time, it was nothing. And I believe it was the second time they went at him. He almost dove and intercepted it in the end zone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And then I'm like, yeah, there's no way they're going to throw to him again. And they did it again. Yeah. I'm like, wow, you deserve to lose that, bro. You're over there testing the Ward. And, you know, the guys on the team, when they see that, when they seen that first one, and it was they were trying to eat at Denzel, and he did what Denzel does. They were like, "Yep, that's our guy." They seen him go at him again. They're like, "That's our guy. Keep throwing it over there, see what happens." You know, they were in the huddle, like they're probably gonna. They might test you again. He's like, "Cool, let's do it." You know.
I wonder if that speaks volumes of how well Campbell has played too, where they feel Campbell has won good enough that we're going to expose Ward, who's having a down year.
Yeah, that addition to Tyson Campbell, man, like I'll talk about it again and again and again. That was a great move because, getting rid of Greg Newsome there.
Greg Newsome is not doing well in Jacksonville.
No, I think he was benched last time I seen he was riding the wood over there on bench, but he's been great. I think they targeted him like 7 times. They caught 3 on him, and it was for short, minimal gains. Yeah, so he was holding down. Yeah. He was holding down his side of the ball too, man. So that, I mean, hats off to that kid on defense. He's been shining, and I really like Tyson Campbell. It's kind of making me. I don't like to try to push things too forward, too quick. I'm not that guy, but I'm like, man, where's Emerson going to fit into this scheme? You know? So,
yeah. You got to want because he's coming off injury, and usually those injuries you come back fully after a year after that injury. So Tyson Campbell allowed 5 yards on 3 receptions despite being targeted 7 times, earning a PFF score of 90.2 in coverage.
I don't know much about solid. I don't know much, but 90 sums is pretty good. That's like almost an A, right?
That is an A. Yeah. Well, I mean, that would have been an A for me at least.
Right.
I'm a Cleveland public school kid, so and 90.
Right, no, me too.
That's an A++, dog. I would have got like $20 bringing that 90% home. But he's been lights out too, again, especially against being. Now, what's good about Campbell is he locked in for a couple years for dirt cheap. And he's that press corner that Schwartz likes. So you're good. So even if Emerson comes back and struggles, or you can slowly work him in, kind of like Mike Hall this past year when you had Collins and him working Mike Hall, and you don't have to rush him in. One question real quick. Was that a pass interference call, that last play? Because Pittsburgh fans want to know.
You asking me?
Yeah.
I actually, I mean, being honest with you, on that 3rd attempt when they went at him in the end zone, to me it looked like he got there a skosh early. But at that time, I think, and they're letting him play ball. Okay, he got there a skosh early. But what it was to me, why I'm like, because I thought they was going to throw the flag, and the reason why is because he didn't get his head turned around for the ball. He didn't. Yeah. And that's where I was like. Ooh, I wasn't gonna say nothing, but I'm like, ooh, okay. Then.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Then, so
I agree.
Ain't no laundry out there.
I agree.
I said,
I agree. I looked around. I'm like, no.
Yeah. Just because I didn't see
about it. Yeah.
He played. They were playing tight, and this is the 3rd time they went that way. They were letting them boys ball, and it wasn't like a real pass interference where the dude's already mugging you and took your money out your back pocket. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I thought just because he didn't turn his head to look where the ball was at, he was just kind of in the dude.
It was a pass interference call. And Pittsburgh fans, we don't care. We don't care they didn't call it. Because you want to know why? Since 99, we don't get calls. Since 99, we get crapped on. Since the team has been back here, we have been worse. We get calls. We got a helmet to helmet in a playoff game and didn't get called. Okay? So you want to sit there and talk about how the refs played you? The refs been playing us since 99. So try to deal with that, all because you had to deal with the fact that Aaron Rodgers stupidly threw to the best corner on the team 3 times, and then the third time he questionable PI call miss. Get over it, you crybabies. You babies. All you do is win every year, and you're crying because you didn't get one call. One call. Get over it, you sack of babies. I'm tired of Pittsburgh. Every time I post something about Ward now, he should have got a PI. Get over it. Oh, my God. You're going to be sleeping on this all season. He's going to be in your head. You're going to be crying. The fact that you missed the playoffs is not because of the PI call. It's because Aaron Rodgers refused to play because he's afraid that he might go down as Myles Garrett's sack record guy. That's why. Stop blaming the wrong guy. You're misdirecting your anger. This is therapy talk, because my wife tells me this all the time. You're misdirecting your anger. You should be mad at Aaron Rodgers. Don't be mad at Ward. It's not his fault that you lost. It's your guy, Aaron Rodgers. And you're going to lose next week, because if you think Baltimore is not going to come in with a little more juice than they have this last couple of weeks, even with Huntley playing, if he's playing, you best believe Baltimore is going to come in and whoop that tail. Take it, Pittsburgh. And I hate Baltimore, and I'm going for them because I hate you guys.
You tell them, Angel. You get them. You get them.
My gosh, I hate that. Man. Pittsburgh fans are the crybabiest of them all, man.
I tell you what, to be honest, there was bad calls on both sides of that in that game. So it was on both sides, guys. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, and there was a lot of no calls, there was a lot of holding on our guys. There's pictures of it.
Well, freaking who's that guy? Who's the guy that got bear hugged?
Yeah, he was getting hugged. He was getting hugged like
the guy that
he was
blocked
at his
the field goal
birthday
against
party
Green
or
Bay.
something.
Man, he's a good player, too. I always forget his name. He blocked the field goal. Green Bay won the game. We had the guy that coached him on the team as a little league. But yeah, he was being hugged, and thankfully his arm was in the air and it batted it to disrupt the play. But yes, plenty of calls were missed. And
in that beginning of the game, was there unsportsmanlike conduct, I think on the kickoff or something like that, where I didn't see much, man. I'm like, man, that is the tickiest tag. Unsportsmanlike. And it gave them great field position. So it's like, come on, y'all. Like, that is it a game deciding one? Yeah, but guess what? Sometimes that's the way the cookie crumbles, and you lost. At the end of the day, you lost. Okay. The refs didn't throw the flag. Game over. What you want,
Well, try to win next week, and I hope you lose. By that way, you can point to the fact that Aaron Rodgers is afraid of Myles Garrett. On to the offense.
All I'll say real quick before we move on is you guys are going to do great because you guys got your winning season. Did you hear? You guys got your winning season again with Tomlin.
Congratulations.
But we already know what that's going to mean for your playoffs. You ain't getting none.
You ain't getting in.
You ain't getting in. So
congratulations, winning 9 games. You're going to get kicked out. Good job. Now you're going to come back saying, Leash, we didn't win 4 or 5. Yeah, go.
Yeah.
Still suck.
You don't have to remind us. We know. We live it.
Yeah, we know. Trust me. We do this every week. We know.
Yeah.
Offense. Onto the offense. Shedeur Sanders starts off hot and then fizzles out. Well, let's talk about that. He starts off hot, and let's point out. We kind of hit it a little bit in the beginning of the show. Sam, what is your opinion as to why you think he fizzled out?
My thing was, and I said it when I was watching the game. I looked at the wife. I go, well, hate to say it, because Gary seems to think that you can't have tight ends be wide receivers. But
y'all need to watch that Saturday show because they go in at it. Yeah.
He was lined up out there as the wide receiver. Okay. At first, I thought he was on the inside, but it was Judy on the inside. It was Harold Fanning as the wide out. I'll run the play, man. Sanders drops back. Sanders looking. Judy curled in. It brought up the cornerback. It brought and the safety bit on that little short out to the sideline gave Fannin, who was set as a wide out, to hit the go button.
He was a wide receiver, Gary.
He was a wide receiver out there, and they hit him. He got hit. He had to make an adjustment, and I'll get to that too, because then they're like, man, Sanders threw a shitty ball, man, but Fannin caught him. I already know how you're all going to treat it. I already know how you're all going to whine, because you can't have nothing nice, even if you want something nice. I'll explain it to you. All right, so the ball gets in there. He catches it. He had to make an adjustment. He rolled into the end zone. Nobody touched him. That's a touchdown, okay? If you go back, watch the footage, it was an excellent pass for what it was worth from Sanders, because if you watch it, he was eating one of our linemen, was in his face as he's throwing the ball. So it wasn't a smooth release. If he had gotten that smooth release and our lineman didn't get pushed into him, that would have been dropped in a bucket, and he would have ran in. He wouldn't have had to make an adjustment. It still would have been a touchdown. Just the way that play was designed. By Judy cutting up and into that sideline, the cornerback bit, and then the safety came up, left the one safety on the backside. And then that's where you go. But that's the greatness of having a hybrid tight end like Harold Fannin, Mr. Houdini Jr. You could put him anywhere on the field. That's just what you get, man. And it was great, man. I loved it.
And he also made a wide receiver adjustment for that ball.
And I think he was already playing hurt, but I honestly think that adjustment, that's where you hurt. That's where the growing part came back in the haunt. He was already questionable, but that move, that shows him wanting to be a part of it and get the win too. But I know that adjustment's probably what did it, man. Wasn't him rolling the end zone. He was already hurt when he rolled in the end zone. Yeah. So, hats off to Harold Fannin and the design play for that. You got to give it up to the play calling on that, and Shador to be able to get the ball.
Wait, you're getting credit to the offensive play caller. Wow, a lot of fans don't like that.
Absolutely.
Again,
Absolutely.
So I think this is why I was encouraged, why I've been saying keep Kevin, because I think there has been growth, and not just that play calling, but you have rookies running 90% of your offense. It's hard to win consistently with that, but we're seeing growth on Shador's end. We'll talk about this in a second. Harold Fannin, and then before Junkins was injured, he was somewhat doing well. Sampson even is done pretty decent. I wish he would get more touches, but he's pretty decent he's a 5th-round pick, right? 4th-round pick, but he's doing pretty good. But yeah, the Sanders started off hot. He comes out in the first quarter, 5 for 7, 101 yards and a touchdown, near perfect 153 passer rating. He hits Cedric Tillman on a 42-yarder, then drops a dime. Now, I wouldn't call it a dime. I would say a nickel, because it was a dime until he got hit. So it was a nickel. He drops a nickel to Harold Fannin Jr. for a 28-yard touchdown, which is what they call in the business an explosive play, which is what I love about Shador. And we got into it earlier about the Dillon and Shador comparison. Though they compare statistically, I think the explosive play probability Sanders brings overshadows just a little bit more than the comparison of stats for me. Like, you can compare them, but I can say there's something about Shador that just makes me say there's something there, that if we can put more talent around this kid, even if maybe he won't be a Tom Brady, but maybe if you can make him a Brock Purdy-ish type of quarterback where he's consistently chill out with the interceptions a little bit, but just throw wherever the defense gives you. And then as they're playing up to protect those little dump offs, by the way, screen passes, Sam, I talked to you about this earlier. He has the highest EPA drop back on screen pass plays of any quarterback in the league, according to Next Gen Stats, since 2010. Okay. He has a 1.3 EPA drop back on screens. That's an historic high. He's averaging 13.1 yards per attempt on screens when the league is averaging 5.6. This season, he's 11 for 16 for 210 yards on screens and 6 first downs and a touchdown. My point of all this is, if you hit the screen, teams are going to have to play up and protect that. And guess what he can do? We've seen it multiple times. He can hit that long ball. So you set it up with the screen, and then you throw it deep for a touchdown. That is what I'm encouraged about when it comes to Shador. Now, there's a lot to be discouraged But that's not the show today. It
Right,
was
well,
going to
the
be the
thing-
show, but it's not the
The
show
thing,
today.
the thing too is getting a run game going, and James Frank said Rocket Sanders, Raheem Sanders has been
Yeah.
looking great. Where has this guy been in? You know, after 4 went down, I know he was in there. Where was he at, bro?
Yeah. Yeah. And
you
here's
know,
the beautiful thing. Like you see Raheem Sanders, and now you have your 3 running backs for next year. That's one less person you have to draft. So
yeah,
you
I
got
like. I'm
Junkins, you
liking
got,
what
you got
I'm liking
yeah.
what I see out of the kid. I told you the game before when we were it was the Bills game. When Quinshawn got hurt, and he was part of that game. Then they had the next man up, and I'm like, okay, we're gonna have some Sanders to Sanders action. Pitch to Sanders, pitches to Sanders. I'm like, okay, I'm okay, let's get it. He was doing well. He's got everything that I like in a running back, and I'll tell you what it is. It's patience, strength, and he knows how to hit the hole, and he's got speed. I mean, that's everything you want in a guy. And Raheem is out there looking really good, man. I want him back. Let's get that incorporated. I can't hit on it enough, and we'll get to see him in the last game here too against the Bengals. So go Raheem if you're out there, loving it, baby, looking good.
Yeah, he has an opportunity. The Cincinnati Bengals defense is near the bottom of the league. They've had a couple of good games here, but I think it's because of the opponents that they played. But we'll see how Raheem adjusts, and I will see how Sanders, because he should have a pretty good game. Here in the comments here, Sheed said Shador has a chance to go off against the poor Bengals defense. Open up the playbook a little bit. Open the playbook up. Get that W and build some optimism going into next year. I agree. I think I've been saying that for weeks. You bring back Shador, you build around him, give him one more year and see what happens with him. Judy had a good game. Tillman, man, if he can just stay healthy. I mean, I have some stats on Tillman. I should have brought him up on the show, but I thought it was going to be a totally different show. If I had time, I would have went in there, but he had the potential of being your outside of Fannin, your wide receiver 1. He would have had, as far as separation, as far as yards, target percentage, he was heading up there. Those injuries kill him, man. And if he's got that body type and he has that prototype if he can just stay healthy, he can be a good, solid number 2, 1B. He just has to prove it. Unfortunately,
that's the only thing, man. When we talk Cedric Tillman, that's the only thing is the health, because that's been his Achilles heel every season, has been some type of injury or concussion. I mean, the stuff does happen, but unfortunately for this kid, it seems to happen to him a lot. So he can't have he hasn't been able to get his full potential out there, which is sad, because I think the kid could be, he's a dominant force. It's just that he can't seem to stay healthy through the whole seasons.
Yeah, I like him a lot, man. I don't know what they're going to do with him. I think this might be his contract. Yeah, I'm not 100%. I should have looked into that. But either way, we'll see how he plays. The running backs continue to struggle, not because the running backs are struggling, it's because the offensive line stinks. I think, it was Sampson led and Sanders was second in rushing on the team. He almost came this close for being the leading rusher 4 games in a row for the Cleveland Browns, meaning Shador Sanders, not Raheem. Shador would have been your leading running back or rusher. And that's an aspect of Sanders' game that we've talked about a lot, but I don't hear a lot of people talk about his ability to run. I mean, he's averaging an extra 20, 30 yards a game just on his legs. And I think if you get more talent and defenses have to spread out more, that's something he could utilize a little more as he learns to be more patient behind that line. With a better line, too, at that.
No, absolutely. Like, there's pieces that we got to fix going into next season. We all know. Everybody's been talking about offensive line, wide receivers. We all know this, but season's not over. Super Bowl's not done. college championship still ain't done. We got a long road to go to the draft before we can even think about this guy, that guy, or
mock
anything.
drafts next week, man. You got yours ready?
Yeah, I got 12.
Sam's like, I ain't doing.
12.
My hands hurt. I'm not doing it for a while. I'm not punching any buttons.
Yeah, I'm not going to even go there.
I don't know if you know this, Sam, but do you know our special teams on PFF is ranked number 4?
Ranked 4 on PFF?
4th. Yeah, 4th. Special teams is ranked 4th in the league. Interesting, right? I have not.
Bottom. That's a bottom number, right?
To be honest with you, I don't know how they grade special teams as far as I'm learning more how they grade certain other positions, but I found that very interesting. And I think a lot part of it is how I'm transitioning here is our special teams with Andre Smitty has been pretty good this year. Pretty good. We seen, and I hate, and let me knock on wood here. We always seem to find a kicker one year, and then the next year he comes back, and then it's like crap. What the heck? What the heck's wrong with this guy? Where'd he come? But he had 2 field goals. He had a 50 and a 33 that put the Browns up 13. And he basically gave you 6 points to help you win the game. I mean, that's saying a lot. That's saying a lot.
Yeah. But for our special teams to be at 4th just because our kicker's doing good is crazy. That's to me. That's
why that's the only way I can come up with, because the punt coverage was better this week. But before then, you're like, man, they're about to break one here sooner or later.
Yeah, it's just been bad. But hats off to Andre Smith, man. I think he's only missed 2 field goals this season, I believe.
Yes.
Okay.
And he missed the first one that could have won the game against Cincinnati week 1, which everybody wanted him cut besides us on this. We're like, dude, he's a rookie. Give this guy some time.
No, but he's been out there.
He would have been off the field.
Yeah, he's been out there doing his thing, drilling them, man, and that's what you want. I would say, just based on what I see this year, we might have found our kicker. But like you said, Angel, every time we got a guy that does good,
we got a guy.
Because I
totally different.
I watched, I think it was like a 56, 57-yard field goal by Zane Gonzalez last night in the night game, Monday night game. And I'm like, wait a minute, Zane Gonzalez. Yeah, he was here. He kicked for us. And he's out there doing his thing. He's down in Atlanta kicking 57-yard field goals.
Atlanta's had a lot of kickers too. I think they're on their 4th kicker this year. They've been pretty bad.
But I'm like, man, I said, he's down there doing his thing, man. Because Zane Gonzalez, he was been on like 4 or 5 different teams too. But man,
Sheet on YouTube says, "Are you, meaning you and I, if we were to GM, prioritizing wide receiver or O-line in this draft, thinking wide receiver for the first 2 picks and O-line in the later rounds and free agency? If you were the GM, what would be?" And the Sam's like, "I don't want to do this. I told you, I'm not talking draft till the season's over." If you don't want to answer it, I can tell you what I would do. I would do wide receiver, because you need that more. You need an explosive wide receiver. You just do. Even if you have Judy, you're going to have Bond. By the way, I don't know where he was last game. And then you can have Tate or even Tyson from Arizona State as your number 1. That's a good base, because then you have Junkins coming back. You have Fannin, who you can line up as a receiver tight end. And then you probably draft another tight end that can, depending on who your offensive guy is, because he might not even be running 2 tight end sets after this year, because it might be a totally different coach, totally different system. And then you have Junkins in your backs. And then you go wide receiver, offensive lineman, wide receiver. And at that second wide receiver, you can get in the 3rd round. I've been mocking myself. You can get Cooper from Indiana, who's a solid number 2 there, and he will be a great number 2 here and eventually overshadow Judy and push Judy out. That is my quick take. And mind you, I got it right last year. I said Mason Graham, and that's who they got. So I'm just saying, I'm going to do enough of these to narrow it down again to try to get it right. I wouldn't be surprised either if they go after Caleb Downs at 6. But you need a receiver. That's just my crush.
You got to go.
Caleb Downs. But you need receiver.
I'm not agreeing with you just to agree with you, but that was exactly how I want it to go down because what's the problems? Wide receiver, O-line. Those are major problems. That was a major problem.
Yep.
You mean the line was going to be a problem going into this season? Okay, so we got guys that are older. We got guys that some guys that ain't cutting the cloth. We have to get some fresh blood in there. Guys that are good. Good offensive lineman, man. I mean, we might see the last of Joe Bitonio this next game. We don't know. We got Wyatt Teller, and it's just like Posic's injury, and then how's he gonna come back from that? So yeah, we need offensive line guys, and we definitely need some weapons, man. We need wide receiver weapons, that's draft priority.
And that's where it falls back on Barrett because you went after these free agent receivers. You got Cooper, he's no longer in the league. Judy had one good year last year. And if you look at it from an analytic statistical perspective, he still had 8% drop percentages, which he averages every year. He just had higher output, he had more passes given to him because he was over 1,000 yards. People were excited, but he is who he is. He's going to drop passes. So you need somebody who's consistent, and Tate has not dropped the ball. Watch him drop a ball now, not tomorrow. Has not dropped the ball all year. He's been Mr. Dependable. So you need a guy with hands. You just need a guy to catch the ball.
Sheet said down there, Sheet said, yes, sir, I can get behind that as long as we go wide receiver first. Yes, I think you have to get wide receiver first.
You need the hybrid, high caliber, horse-bred, talented wide receiver on this team. I can understand that they decide to go O-line, but I think you can get a good offensive lineman with that Jacksonville pick and then come right back in the second round and get another solid one. Now, a free agency, if they go all in free agency for one or two offensive linemen, that's going to change the scope. Maybe they go receiver, but we'll see. Again, I love after the season talk, especially as a podcaster. Before I didn't care, but as a podcaster now, I'm thinking we're about to get into draft talk because we suck so bad. We get these high picks. We haven't talked in draft in long. This will be our second draft because we didn't have high draft picks as a podcast. Yeah. So it's cool to see. Good to see us talk about that.
That's my thing too. That's my thing, real too. I want to touch on the draft order, man. It's super important, man. Yes, I love the win, but I would have liked to have that number 3 slot locked up. And then you go ahead and you get that receiver you want. You're not getting who somebody ain't take. Because I'm looking at the draft board right now, and you got Giants up there, you got Titans up there. I don't see Titans going for another quarterback, so they're probably going to go for a receiver. I think Giants like Jackson Dart. I don't see them going for another quarterback. I see its potentials for them to sponge up the good wide receivers out there.
I think what's going to help you in that aspect is that Tennessee is going to. I think Tennessee's. They could potentially. I could see your point. They do need a receiver to help Cam Ward, but if they're the worst defense in the league, they're the worst. That's why Shador was able to throw 300 yards on them, and then Tyler Show came up last week and threw 333 yards on them. So for me, I look at that and I say, you get the best linebacker ever, Reese from Ohio State, and I think you put him there automatically. You there. Arizona's going to probably pick a quarterback receiver, and that's where I get nervous because they're number 5 right now. We're number 6. They can get Tate, but I'll be okay with Jordy Tyson. I would be okay with him. I just like Tate because I see him every week and I know what he is. I'm not familiar with Tyson, but I heard Tyson's pretty solid. I just, as Ohio people, we love our Buckeyes, so we got to have all of our Buckeyes on our Browns team.
Another thing too is we got one more game to go. Okay, we have a potential to win one more game.
Yeah, and that can drop you down to 7.
I think we're going to be more 9-10.
You can't drop any more than 7 because the teams below you have more wins.
We're even if 6 you win right now. We're at 6 right now, right?
Yeah, and the team below you, Washington, already has. Do they have 5 wins? I think they have 5 wins already. I'm not 100% sure.
We'll have to look because, like we said, though, those tie losing records are going to be all based off of.
I think strength of schedule.
strength
Oh,
of
yeah.
schedule, time of
Yeah.
possessions.
Yeah, you're right. So
So there's a
if you win,
potential that we could
Commanders
drop
can
lower.
to past 7 because they have 4 wins too.
Yeah. So I mean, another win could be, not that good. I mean,
You
it's
can
great
drop
to
you
go out
past
and
that,
say, hey, man, 5 wins is better than 3. But then we start low in our draft. And me and the wife talked about it too. And she even said something in the comments here. Please, for the love of God, can we not draft down and none of that? Just silliness, man. Just could you? I mean, it worked for you. It worked. That's even if Andrew Berry's even here. So anyway.
Yeah,
Just
they play.
what
Yeah,
you got. Pick your order, bro. We need a wide receiver. Don't trade down. Get that guy. Don't keep messing around with stuff when you need things, man. You go for
you
that
got to
guy.
be
You want to start a wide receiver? Get him in your order. Do it.
Yeah, I agree. I think the lowest we can drop is 7. I don't know why I think that. Oh, because this will be your 4th win. So you'll be tied with Washington, and Washington has more. They have better wins than you. Is it the 5th? Do we have 4 wins?
We got 4 now.
Okay, yeah. So we have 4 now. My gosh.
Yeah, we got 4 now.
Good?
This would be 5 if we beat Cincinnati.
Yeah. Washington plays Philadelphia too, so they probably will lose. So yeah, that's going to drop you.
Yeah, beat that. That's what I'm saying, brother. I'm looking at it like, I mean, I know 5 wins is better than 3, man, but I kind of liking them draft picks, dog.
Yeah, you like Miles, get your sack, but let's lose against Cincinnati.
right.
I wouldn't want to go any lower than. I think you could go as low as 8 because any other team has 5, and I think they have better records, better strength of schedule than you, and that's how they determine it, or more points scored. Or something like that.
See, lowest we can drop is 7th. Picks 8 and up all have +6 wins.
Yeah, Washington though has 4, so that's the team behind you right now.
Right.
So yeah. Because if Washington wins and you win, you're still tied because right now the order is the same and Washington's behind you. So if Washington wins, we win, we still there. But Washington would jump us if we win, and that puts you
right. And then we talked about how it works out with tied losing records. That all gets looked at too at the end of the season too. So that can bounce things around too.
Yeah, we don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So that's a little draft order talk at the end of the show for you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for helping us out there. She appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Oh, last thing. Our alpha dog, because we actually won. Sorry, I'm not used to winning. Alpha dog of the week is Grand Delpit. Grand Delpit was all over the field. I personally think it should have been Miles because he impacted every play, but I got outvoted. Grand Delpit is your alpha dog of the game. He's having a great year too, by the way.
Great
Special
year,
teams
man.
Pro Bowl. Shout out to Grant, man. Thanks to everybody for tuning in. Thanks for following, liking, commenting. Continue to follow us on all our socials. Tell your friends about us. We will be here next year for the first show of the new year. We're here every week. By the way, we don't take holidays off. All these other shows, they're like, oh, it's the holiday. Let's not show up. We put in and we put out.
Yeah.
Are you guys doing the Saturday show?
As far as I know, it's ready to rock and roll. Yep.
Shows. Are you guys doing Saturday?
Yeah.
So tune in Saturday. Yeah, they do Saturday shows, 10 a.m. Brown's
live.
Morning Brew. It's a great show. I'm going to love to see this Saturday show when you guys talk about.
I'm going to talk to you after the show. We got somebody coming on. I didn't let you know yet, but I think, man, I really think that I'd like to get you two together. We'll talk a little bit after the show. It kind of just started happening. I forgot to mention something earlier, but yes, tune in, man. Just Saturday Morning Brew, 10 o'clock. Me, Mike, Gary, and our guy Logan, getting ready to talk about Cincinnati coming up, man. So, thanks, Sheed. We see you down there. Happy New Year's to you and yours too, buddy. James Frank, Makai Lemon. I'm gonna go check out some highlights. I'm gonna go check that guy out. I'm gonna check him out.
He's a guy that you probably can get in the second, third round too.
And we got to remember with these mock drafts y'all are doing. Okay, we got to remember a little something.
I love them.
I'm gonna teach you a little something. It's all fun and it's the fandom and it's exciting. I get it, but we know how people can drop in draft orders. We've seen it. We know how people's stake can go up in draft orders. And I'll use an example. Cam Scatteraboo. Was he good? Yeah. Did people like him more when they were watching him play in championship games last year and he got more credibility and his stock went up? Yes. So there's gonna be a lot of changing going on, you know. So that's why I always say, let's get the season over with. Let's get the Super Bowl over with. Let's get the college championship over with. And let's get a little closer to April before we get too crazy with these mock drafts. But have fun and do what y'all do, man.
Follow us for more mock drafts at the Beer Browns. That's it. That's all we have for you today. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time, Happy New Year. Go Browns.
Go Browns.